President Biden and VP Harris pulls off historic swap, freeing of American prisoners from Russia. Man names his killer before he died. Shelly and Fraser and Sashalee Forbes moves into the semifinals in the 100 meters at the Olympics. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. The United States and Russia carried out a historic prisoner exchange yesterday when 24 detainees, including former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan and Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershovic, were released as part of a sweeping deal that involved at least 7 countries. Thursday's massive swap was the result of years of complicated behind-the-scenes negotiations involving the US, Russia, Belarus, and Germany, ultimately leading Berlin to agree to Moscow's key demand, releasing convicted Russian assassin Vadim Krasikov. A total of 8 people, including Krasikov, were swapped back to Russia in exchange for the release of 16 people who were held in Russian detention, including 4 Americans. In addition to Whelan and Gershovic, prominent Putin critics Vladimir Kara-Murza, who is a U.S. permanent resident, and Russian-American journalist Alshu Kurma-Shiva, they were also freed. And regardless of the lie being told by the former president, who already started lying already, that Biden paid a lot of money to get them released, no money was paid, not a single dollar. All it was negotiations and swapping of people for people. In Jamaica, some residents of Waterford in Portmore and St. Catherine have vowed to maintain peace in the community as they remain giddy with excitement following the release of dancehall entertainer Adidja Vibes Cartel Palmer. Garfield Francis, a music producer from Stilliet Productions who has worked with the artist, said the community is elated about Cartel's return. He said the entertainer's return could boost community tourism and profit for events held at neighboring dancehall venues. As he anticipated a possible entertainment event to celebrate the artist's release, he suggested the use of the Jam World Entertainment Complex in Portmore, but he acknowledged that this would depend on the size of the crowd, suggesting the scale of the event could likely overwhelm that event. Vibes Cartel and his co-accused Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre Madso St. John were freed on Wednesday. The men were in 2014 convicted for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams, but the UK-based Privy Council quashed the convictions in March of this year and sent the matter back to the Jamaica Court of Appeal to decide whether the men should be retried or freed. The Jamaica government did not consider to retry them. Many of the families of people involved in the transatlantic slave trade in Jamaica have now apologized formally. In support of their forebears, 5 families descended from plantation owners in the UK and Ireland, as well as the Guardian newspaper, apologized on camera. Meanwhile, at the Seville Emancipation Jubilee on Wednesday night, the Scottish descendant of John Malcolm, who owned the Argyle estate in St. Thomas during the conflict in 1824, voiced their grief in person as well. Addie Malcolm and her sister Kate have promised to cooperate with the government of New Zealand, the country from which their ancestors had immigrated, in order to bring attention to its part in the Caribbean slavery. The fleet management system of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is now undergoing major upgrades that will increase police agility, mobility, and ability to catch planned criminal activities. There was a massive $313 million high-end car handover ceremony on Wednesday at the Police Commissioner's office where 40 new vehicles were handed over. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang said that government's dedication to giving the police the tools and assistance they need to do their jobs well and uphold public safety and order is reflected in the fleet expansion. The Dutch national, who was apprehended in May while attempting to carry cocaine valued at close to $30 million through the St. James Sangsters International Airport, has entered a guilty plea to drug trafficking. In the St. James Parish Court last Thursday morning, the 44-year-old Patrick Crawford entered a guilty plea, and he's scheduled for sentencing on September 11. According to the Narcotics Police report, around 14 pounds of cocaine were found in Crawford's suitcase on May 9 as he was getting ready to catch a trip to Brussels in Belgium. The drug was worth an estimated 168,000 European pounds or 28 million on the black market. A 28-year-old man is facing multiple gun charges following the shooting death of another on McIntosh Drive in Kingston on Saturday, July 20. Charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony is Damon Latouche, otherwise known as Killer, a laborer from the McIntosh Drive community, and he's accused of killing 38-year-old Ryan Anglin. Reports are that about 11:40 p.m., Anglin was at home when he was allegedly shot by Latouche. Lawmen were called to the scene after residents reported they saw Anglin running from the yard and collapse on the roadway. He was taken to hospital where he allegedly told a relative that he was shot by Latouche. And on Wednesday, July 24, Latouche turned himself into the police. He was officially charged after a question and answer session. A court date for him is now being finalized. The St. Andrew North Police are now probing Thursday morning's shooting death of a taxi operator along Mannings Hill Road in St. Andrew. He has been identified as 56-year-old Richard Nemard of a Cassava Peace Road address. Reports are that about 4:40 a.m., residents heard explosions and summoned the police. On their arrival, Mr. Nemard was seen with multiple gunshot wounds in a sitting position in the driver's seat of a white and green Toyota Probox motor car, and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. On to sports, Jamaica's Shericka Jackson revealed that significant consideration went into both her and her coach's decision to withdraw from the 100 meters event at the Paris Olympics. The announcement of her withdrawal came on Wednesday, with Jamaica's track officials confirming that Sashalee Forbes would replace Jackson in the event. And when asked about her fitness for the 200 meters, given that her last race in Hungary ended with her limping across the finish line in 8th place, Jackson assured that she is in good shape to compete. The women's 200 meets heats are scheduled to begin on Sunday, August 4th at about 3:55 a.m. Jamaica time. While this morning in the 100 meters heat, Sashalee Forbes, her replacement, she came second in 11.19 behind Terry of the US, who won with 11.15 seconds. Bertram of Trinidad and Tobago was third. And in Heat 4, Jamaica's Tia Clayton was second in 11 seconds flat behind Lady Leduc in 10.95. And in Heat 1, Shakari Richardson of the US, she won her heat easily in a quick 10.94 seconds. And in the final race in Heat number 8, Shelly and Fraser Price, with her hair dyed in the Jamaican flag, ran an easy race, slowing down to come second in a fast 10.92 with Jose Maru Talu 10.87. And this was the fastest race of the day, and Shelly looks like everybody will have a hard time beating this 37-year-old if she makes it to the finals, as she shot out of the blocks just like a rocket. And I would say them better fret, cause she really looked good. The men's race is going to be tomorrow, and that's going to be a lot of fireworks in those heats tomorrow. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you missed the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.